morning, Nelis. It is so good to see you. And I heard rumors that you are the world's best babysitter currently, as we're in the middle of lockdown and your wife is working in the health profession. How are you keeping up, working and babysitting?
Morning, Ruan. It's nice seeing a familiar face and hear a different voice as well today. Me personally, health-wise, I'm still healthy. My family is still healthy. As you mentioned, my wife is working, so I had to rediscover new skills as well. House cleaning, cooking, babysitting. We're busy with grade 2 at the moment, spelling, maths. Different challenges, what I'm used to, but we're coping. Thank you. Thank you.
Nice. No, I'm happy to hear that you guys are safe and doing well. So, of course, you're part of the alumni of Lifework Leadership in Pretoria, but you're also a partner / director and the head of business solutions there at SNG Grant Thornton. So, for those people who have no clue what an auditor is or what it is you guys do, or maybe have for some reason not heard of your firm before, do you mind telling us just a little bit about SNG Grant Thornton?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, as you mentioned, we are a professional audit firm or professional services firm. The services we provide is auditing, accounting, tax and advisory. So SNG Grant Thornton, we're part of the Grant Thornton international network. So worldwide, Grant Thornton is represented in over 130 countries, more than 50,000 people worldwide. And then in South Africa, we are represented in 13 offices or across the country, and we are roughly about 1,500 people.
Wow. So 1,500 people here in South Africa. I'm sure COVID-19 and the current lockdown has affected your business and your industry immensely.
For sure it did. I think it's not only we can see the effect countrywide in all sectors, but especially in our business, it's affecting us. Luckily, what we managed to do through a combination of innovation and technology, which we invested quite a bit over the past years, we can carry on, well, as normal as possible, as one would think, or under these circumstances. So we invested quite a bit. We're using Microsoft with the different platforms, for example, Teams. So we're able to communicate with staff in their scheduling so we can keep track of what the staff are busy with. And for example, OneDrive that enabled us to share fairly securely data between staff and between us and clients. So, well, that's all depending if the staff can access their data. But up to now, we've got a couple of big audits going on, doing VAT returns, helping clients with payrolls. So in those cases, almost business as normal for us.
And you mentioned a few practical technological applications there. Are there also other skills you've had to acquire, or maybe some lessons learned through this difficult and uncertain times, maybe that you'll implement post-lockdown and do business differently?
The way I see it at the moment, yeah, going back, I think the world will be very different. One thing we have realized people must be comfortable with technology. I think that's, otherwise it will become irrelevant. I think that will be the big differentiator. Who are comfortable with technology, adapting, changing. What we also see what might change is the way we do business in terms of meeting. In the foreseeable future, I think there will be a lot less traveling, less face-to-face meetings. Even in the way we do our training will be different. We've already started, because you can't have face-to-face or a classroom setup. We've already started e-learning. We've got Learn Connect. It's a platform for soft skills, not only for the professional staff, but even our support staff. So in this period where they can't do work, we encourage them to connect to that platform. It's the benefit of being part of a big international organization. They can provide those, so you don't have to invest yourself in that. Yeah, so the way we're going to do business, I think, will be completely different.
Yeah, I like what you mentioned there, that you're encouraging your team members to all focus on maybe acquiring a new skill, or, you know, upskilling, sharpening the axe, so to speak, during this time, and not just streaming on Netflix day and night. Nelis, I'm sure that a lot of your clients have been approaching you and asking you for practical advice as the auditor or tax advisor, saying, listen, I'm a small business owner, or maybe it's even a medium to a large scale company, and as your clients are from various industries. Any advice you can give us, maybe online, maybe share one or two of those things, or the avenues people can follow, or business people can follow, to either implement certain savings or apply for certain relief, or even possible funding?
Yeah. Before I go to maybe in the detail, maybe just in general, what I encourage my clients first is to keep calm. Don't let fear get hold of you, because that makes that you can't think clearly, and you're not that innovative. If fear takes hold of you, then what we also, because cash flow, that's going to be the important thing for the next 3 months. So what we encourage clients is to have maybe 2 or 3 cash flow on different scenarios. If the lockdown extended, if it's extended again, what will the effect be, and how can you plan for that? Then just in terms of business interruption, if you've got insurance, we advise them to get hold of the insurer to see if there's not, in terms of business interruption, a way as a business you can maybe claim because of loss of income. And then more on the detail, there's a lot of tax relief measures and other relief measures that's been announced by government. At the moment, maybe if I can mention, we're busy putting a brochure together. We try and combine, because it's kind of all over. Some is from the bank, some are from SARS, some from the government. So we try and combine everything in one single document, just to make it easier for your small business owner. Because most of those relief measures are there just to help with the cash flow in the short term, either by tax exemption, or on the one hand, up to loans at low interest-free loans. The things that will affect most clients, especially in the small and medium clients, is obviously paying your staff while they're not working. So there's the UIF, where you can claim for the next 4 months. That's one way of doing it. Then also in terms of pay as you earn and provisional tax. From the receiver side, there are relief measures. We only have to pay 80%, so you can postpone 20% of your payments and make that later. So there's some relief as well. One thing of all these relief measures, you have to be up to date with your tax affairs. That's one of the requirements. So people that wasn't that diligent in keeping their tax affairs up to date, unfortunately, those businesses might struggle with these relief measures. And then also from the banks, they've got different relief measures as well. It ranges from payment holidays on loans, up to extension of facilities, overdraft facilities where necessary. So I will encourage business owners, just to contact your bank and see what's available and how can they assist.
Mm. Thank you, Nelis. So I would, if you wouldn't mind sharing that document with us, then we can make it available to anyone listening, watching this recording and maybe being interested. And then we could possibly advise or encourage small business owners to also get in contact with their auditor or tax advisor, lawyer, small banker, and just explore the various avenues and options. And like you said, it's about cash flow being king currently, and just exploring the different avenues. That being said, do you have hope for South Africa, for our economy? I know we were recently also downgraded by Moody's. Are you on the optimistic, pessimistic, or realistic avenue?
No, I definitely still got hope for our country. If you just look at, we must be realistic. I think there will be job losses. Some businesses might have to close down. But saying that, I'm still very positive. I think if we saw the way the government reacted with this pandemic and the decisive way they deal with that, if they can apply that on the economy and the business side as well, it can be a lot better. I've got hope for the economy, and the thing is, we're not in this alone. It's worldwide. I was reading, even if you compare us to Italy, that's I think they're the 8th biggest economy, and they're starting to default on their loans, and we're not even there yet as a country. So comparing to that, if you compare to the exchange rate of the Australian, we're not that bad as well in terms of what we lost against the dollar. So I think the whole world is in this together. So I definitely got hope for our country.
And then as a Christian, did you perhaps read something inspirational recently, or you're experiencing the Lord saying something to you? And while you think of that answer, I would like to just share something with you, which I read recently, and it's from the Streams in the Desert devotional. And it was the reading from the 13th of April. And it says, have you ever heard of anyone being greatly used by Christ who did not experience a special time of waiting or a complete upset of his plans at first? From the Apostle Paul's being sent into the Arabian wilderness for 3 years, during which time he must have been overflowing with the good news. Down to the present day, it seems those who will be used will have a time of waiting. Have you been looking forward to telling about trusting Jesus, but instead he's asking you to show what trust is by waiting? My own experience is far less severe than Paul's, but reveals the same principle. Once when I thought the door was being thrown open for me to enter the literary field with a great opportunity, it was just as quickly shut. My doctor stepped in and simply said, "Never. You must choose between writing and living, for you cannot do both." The year was 1860, and I did not come out of my shell of isolation with my book, Ministry of Song, until 1869. But then I saw the distinct wisdom of having been kept waiting for 9 years in the shade. God's love is unchangeable, and He is just as loving even when we do not see or feel it. And His love and His sovereignty are equal and universal. Therefore, He often withholds our enjoyment and awareness of our progress because He knows best what will actually ripen and further His work in us. God provides resting places as well as working places. So rest and be thankful when He brings you, tired and weary, to streams along the way.
It's interesting that you mentioned deserts. That's I think I feel in my spirit. This is almost for me like a desert place or a place of quietness. I think it's for me was also it's also a time of just taking stock of life, to see what's important, relationship with God, the family, wealth, things like that. And it's almost like if things like work and making money, that almost move to the background, or maybe in the right place. It's not, in terms of priorities, not the number one priority. Just being in a quiet place, hearing the Lord's voice, that's what I'm experiencing. Yeah.
That desert time or experiences, we shouldn't despise it, because what I'm agreeing with you there, it's as if the Lord is saying, be still and know that I am God. So embrace that stillness, or that quiet preparation time. Even Jesus, after He was baptized and before He went, and started His public ministry period, He went to the desert for 40 days.
Yeah.
So, perhaps
even
this
Moses
time
before. Yeah. Sorry.
Exactly, and there are several examples of that where we as business people, it's maybe in our DNA to solve problems and to jump out and to do. But maybe now is not the time to just, because we're not physically able. Let's embrace this time of being quiet, being still, and like you said, reflecting on our priorities and sharpening the axe, preparing for what's lying ahead. Nelis, thank you so much for your time. Our prayers and thoughts to you and your family, and especially your wife, fighting the battles there at the front lines. May you guys stay safe, and thank you so much for your advice and inspirational words as well.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure. For you and your family also. Stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you.